In today's video, we are going to be making a duck call lanyard that will hold 6 calls. And so what I've done here is I've gotten 2 wingspan lengths of paracord and maybe a little bit more. And now what you're going to do is take both ends, put them together, and find the center point right here. Then you're going to get some cutters like that, and you're going to cut right there at the center point. And if you know anything about paracord, you know it's just about impossible to cut. And I'm using 550 paracord in a dark moss green. So now we're going to find the center point again. And this will probably make about 20 inches of a 4-strand diamond braid. So what I've done here, now we have these 4 ends. This is where it gets the name 4-strand diamond braid. And now we're going to find the center point between these 2. And now we have it here. So what we're going to do is take it and loop like this. I'm not tying a knot yet, but now what we have is this little loop across. And what we're going to do is take this far one in the top right and bring it. Now we have 3 strands right here. We take the closest strand to ourselves and bring it over, and then we repeat the process. So we have 3 strands again. We bring it forward. Then we have this X. We take the one farthest away and bring it, and that's where we get this 3-strand. And then we bring it back. Then we take the farthest one again. Hold up. Yep. Take the farthest one, bring it. And then you just keep doing this until you have about 18 to 20 inches, depending on how long that you want your lanyard to be. See, for me, I'm not very big at all, so I'm going to make a smaller lanyard than somebody that's 6'7" would make their lanyard. And I'll see you guys whenever I finish up. Alright, so now we're all finished up, and so what we're going to do now is, we see right here, we're going to seal this so that we can make the neck pad. So I'm going to open this little loop here right beside the string going down, and I'm going to take the identical string that matches it, which it's hard to tell with the same color, but you just have to trace it down the line. And you're going to pull like that, and these 2 will line up. Then you're going to pull that like so, and we see this. Then we're going to flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. We're going to open, hold up, this is getting in the way. We're going to open a loop up right here. Take the string that matches it. Little strings popping out, but we're going to run it through like this, just like so. And then eventually it will look clean and sealed. You just keep pulling on all of them at the same time to get it smooth. And this is the 4-strand diamond braid. Looks pretty sweet. And now that we see it, now that we see how these two are lined up, we're going to put, a lot of people will use a fid that do this like professionally. I use a 22 casing or 223 casing. They work fine. Or if you don't have that, you can use anything like a Sharpie, the end of a paintbrush. And we're going to loosen that back up a little so that we can fit this through. And what this is doing is it's making room to run paracord through to make the neck strap. So once we get this opened up, we're going to pull a little. That's a bit too much. Whoops. We're not going to pull that much. So once we get this through, we're going to pull it back tight again. Just like we did a few minutes ago. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cut these. And once we cut these, what we're going to do is we're going to go burn the ends so that it will never come undone. And for the size of the lanyard, I find that 2 wingspan links fits like the size that you're going to make. So the bigger your wingspan, the bigger lanyard you're going to make. That's what I found has worked in the past. Because I do custom lanyards for some of my friends. And some of them are bigger than others, so I've got to change the length. But if you're doing this for yourself, 2 wingspan and maybe a little bit more length is good for this 4-strand diamond braid. And the reason I do this braid, it's really easy and it only takes me about 5 to 10 minutes max. And it's really easy for beginners to learn too. And I'm not professional at doing this, but it's real easy. So once we get all of these trimmed, what we're going to do after we burn it is we're going to get another, well, what we're really going to do is get 4 wingspan lengths of paracord. So I'll see you guys. Alright, now that we're back from burning the ends, you can see how now there's not any tag ends, my little makeshift fid. So we're going to take this out, little 22 casing. And so you can see it's probably about 22 inches of this 4-strand diamond braid, enough to make the first part of our lanyard. This is about, say, 10 inches. So this will be how far it sits from your neck. So you don't want it hanging all the way down to your ankles, but you also don't want it so tight that you can't call right. Now, what I've done is I have gotten 4 wingspan links of paracord, and this will be for the neck strap. So as you can see, it's a lot. So we're going to find the 2 ends, put those together. We're going to find the middle point. Well, actually, what we're going to do, you're going to take the beginning point of this 4-strand diamond braid, run a fid, well, this isn't a fid, but it acts like a fid, through like that so that you can see through it. Then you're going to grab one end of that paracord that we just got, the 4 wingspan links. We're going to run it through. And now that we're running it through, let's find the middle point. So we take our 2 ends right here, take one end, then we find the other. Alright, now we have both ends. And now what we're going to do is we're going to find the middle point in between the two. And once we get the middle point, we're going to come down to the other end that we just burned and make sure these don't get overlapped or else it'll mess up the whole thing. So now we're just keeping these together, making sure that they're even. Keep pulling all the way until you get to the end of it. Now, we have these two ends right here. We're going to run one end through one way, like so. Just push it through with your fid or anything that you can fit through. And push something through. Then we're going to run the other end through the other way. So it's going to be opposites. And make sure whenever you make this loop, before you burn the ends, make sure it's big enough to fit paracord through, or else the whole process will be ruined. Like this one, I made just a hair small. So I needed to fix that. You just kind of got to work at it and push it. Keep pushing. And eventually you'll get it. It'll just take a minute. Finally, got it. Alright, so now we have all this extra slack. We're going to want to pull that. So we just pull these tag ends like so. We're going to get it evened out again. Because now this is the part where you fit it, like customly fit it to yourself to see what length of lanyard you want. So now we see this is a lot of extra, so we need to pull some of this slack out. This is just extra. So this is eventually going to be the thick neck piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this out to our desired length. So about here, see, I'm going to try it on. See if it comes down far enough. See, it's just a hair big, so I'm going to pull it in just a little. And now these are even like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab the two tag ends. We're going to make one loop. We're going to make a loop over the two lines underneath. Take our other tag end and run it under that line, and back under this loop and pull it out. And that's going to make the neck piece. I forgot what the braid is called, but it makes the neck piece braid. So now make sure that's good and tight. We don't want it loose. So we're going to repeat the process. Loop over. Once you get it started, this is a very easy. So you're going to loop over, take the next one underneath, and pull it through. Then you're going to cinch it down up at the top. And a good way I remember how to do this knot is the side that this little piece is on, right here, you're going to take and make another loop on that side. And that's how it alternates. That's how you keep it from looking funky and messing up and not looking neat. So then, just like last time, that little loop, that's the side you put the loop on. Run it underneath, pull it through, and pull it tight. Alright, and I'll see you guys whenever. Alright, so now I have burnt the ends and cut off the excess of this neck strap. This piece is going to be what's going on our neck, and this is too thin right now. This is just the beginning part of the neck strap. So now what we're going to do is I've taken another 4 wingspan lengths of paracord. We're going to find the 2 ends right here, and to thicken this neck piece up, we're going to take these 2 ends, we're going to find the center point again, and now we're going to start right here, and we're going to do the same process. So what we're going to, except you run it in between each and every one of these little loops. So what we're going to do is the same process. Make that loop, run this through, and pull it tight. Just like so. And then we see how the loop is on this side. So that's how we know which side to put the loop on again. So now we're going to pull it up tight. And with this one, instead of just keeping to go, we're going to take this and put it right next to each other so that it's spaced out evenly. So we're going to get the loop again, pull it through, then pull it down tight. So make sure you're doing this in order so that it doesn't mess up anything. So we're going to do it again. We're just alternating back and forth until we eventually are finished. I will see you when I'm finished. Alright, so now I have burnt the ends on this thicker neck strap. Now you can see it looks nice. And this lanyard is going to be a little bit smaller because it's not for an adult. It's for one of my friends that I'm making this for. And as you can see here, I have these little miniature carabiners. I got these off of Amazon. They come in like a pack of 30 or something. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these to clip the call holders on. So if maybe you want to take it off or relocate it, you can do that. So what I typically do is match it up right here at the top and find 2 matching strands, which would be right here. So what I'm going to do is take my fid, run it through there to get it opened up. Then I'm going to take my carabiner and run it through, like so. And I'm going to do this a few times for the number of call holders that my friend wants. Now you can do this without a carabiner or with a carabiner, but for this video I'm going to do it with a carabiner. So then we find the matching one on the other side. We're going to put this one on. Make sure that they're facing outwards too so that your calls don't come towards you, because then they just get in the way and that causes a bigger problem. But before I go any farther, there is one thing that my friend wanted for this custom lanyard. He wanted one of these patterns right down here at the bottom to hold his mallard hen call. So that is what I'm going to be doing. He also wanted a holder for his Mojo up here at the top, his Mojo remote. So that is what I will get. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out just enough string. This is probably 10 inches almost. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 8. But we don't need much for what we're about to do. But for the step after it, we do. So we're going to match up the lanyard up here and find the middle point down here. And we see the middle point right here. So what we're going to do is this. Let's see here. We're going to open 2 holes right here. In that little piece of string we just cut, we are going to put one end through right here. One end right here. Alright, so we're going to push this one through. Right here. And then right next to it. Man, can't even get the fit through. And all of this string you can get paracord at an Army surplus that used to be on a parachute, or you can order it off Amazon. I like the Army surplus better just because it's probably more quality built material, but we're not using it for some extreme mission or anything. Alright, so now I have this end. So now we're going to pull out 1 wingspan length of paracord. Cut it right over here. And once you have this, we're going to do one of the thin neck strap patterns. So we have our paracord. This is probably 40 inches maybe, somewhere around there. And what we're going to do is, just like up at the neck piece, we're going to run a loop under. I know it looks really messy right now, but it's going to clean up. So we pull this up to the very, very top and tighten it down, like so. Then we're going to pull it all the way up, like this. Tighten it down. Then we're going to repeat this pattern. You know, we see the loop on one side, so we pull it through, go down, pull it up to the top. And to make sure this is on point, which it is, it's right in the middle, which is perfect, because this is going to hold the mallard hen call, just so it's easy to reach, easy to find where it is, since it's the most used call, for my friend at least. Now for the other people I've made them for, a lot of people don't care if they have this at the bottom or not, because they use all their calls equally. But so now, once I've finished this, I'm going to burn the end at the very bottom. But we're actually going to leave a good amount of string to make the lanyard, the call holders itself. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in a second or two, after we put the other clips on. So now we're going to flip this around and do the thick neck piece. Actually, no, my bad. We're going to pull out another piece, about wingspan, maybe less. Cut that. Man, paracord is tough to cut. Gotta get this cut. Also, if your paracord ever has a weird smell, wash it in a bowl or in a sink or anything. Like, some of the paracord I've worked with, it had gasoline spilled on it. I just put it in a bowl with some water and it cleaned right out. So now we're going to do the same thing again to make it thick like this one. So we're going to run it under, find the middle point right here. And we're going to do the same thing over and over. Just like so. Once we get this finished, we're going to trim and then burn all the ends to make this as good looking as possible. Even though it's not all about the looks, it's about how it functions. But all the knots that we're doing are very strong and they hold up really well. And if you make one of these yourself, it'll last you a lifetime, or however long you want it to last. So, with that being said, almost finished, then we're going to go cut the ends. It's a lengthy process, but once you get used to it, you can do it really fast, but most people aren't making them as like a business or anything. It's just a one-time thing, and then you have it. But for me, it's a hobby and a business. Alright. So now I'm going to go cut. Alright, so I just got back from burning the ends of this, and we have these tag ends right here. I'm going to save these for later because this will be the call holders. Now we're going to focus on these little carabiners. So, on the order that I'm doing, the customer has 2 up here, 2 right here, and then of course the 1 down here. So, we're going to get 2 carabiners and put them on the lanyard. 1 right here, and then another 1 right on, I guess, on the opposite side, but it's going to be all even. And it's really easy to make sure if they're even. So, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to measure. So they're even right here. And the calls will probably hang down here, so I'm going to put my next call right here, or my next keychain. What am I saying? My next carabiner right here. So, I'm going to take my fid, run it through, then take my carabiner, put it on right here, and then match it on the other side to make it even. Just like that. Take our carabiner. Make sure they're facing away, or else that'll, cause some problems. But now we have this done. So you can see 2 right here, 2 right here. So on this custom order, the customer wants a pintail whistle right here, and then a Mojo remote holder right here. And on his Mojo remote, it already has a clip, so I don't need to add a holder or anything. So now, I'm going to pull out 1 wingspan length of paracord and cut it. And that's the standard for like all of the I guess, call holders. Is 1 wingspan length. That's what I found to be good, but for different people, you know, different sizes. But for my wingspan, it's probably 4 foot, maybe a little bit less. So maybe twist the end or bend it like this. See how that's bent? So now we're gonna run this straight through. Maybe I'm not gonna do that because it did not work. Maybe I'll just, you know, push it through. Maybe wet the end. Bite down on it. Then twist it. Sometimes it works. It's the bad part of it. Oh, and also to get these carabiners on Amazon, just look up miniature carabiners, and it'll probably be the first thing to pop up. It's like a set of 30. And so now we're going to find the center point again and pull. So what we're about to do is something called a snake knot. So how to do this snake knot is you're going to take this side, run it over, then take the side again, make a loop going behind everything, and run it off to the side. Then you grab the loop underneath and run it through the loop and pull it up, 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 just as high as you can before, like keep a little bit of slack though, because you don't want it to not be able to move. You want to be able to grab your call pretty easy without having to pull. So then we're just going to repeat the process. So loop over, well, cross over, loop behind, then run it through the loop and pull up tight. And see, we're going to do this 5 times. 5 times is just the number that I found to be good over the course of a few years. And so now, just pull it up tight. We're going to just keep repeating this process. Just over and over and over. Kind of gets annoying after a while, but it's what you got to do if you want a nice lanyard. And I may start a business in a few years making lanyards, so who knows? May not even need to teach people, may just sell them. Alright, so this is the last knot. Last one, so now we have 5. So now what we're going to do is, since this one's one of the, man, these carabiners won't be quiet. So since this one's the special because it's holding a pintail whistle, what we're going to do is to make the loop that cinches down on your call, take your thumb right here, wrap the paracord around it. Let me get a little bit more slack. So you see how it's wrapped around twice, right? What you're going to do is take a loop and run it through. And then you just pull the slack out, like so. And that's your loop. Now, let me grab a duck call to show you guys how this cinches down. Don't mind the old call, it still works great. So what this does is it runs through, except this one only has one since it's made to hold a pintail whistle. I'll show you guys that in a minute. But it cinches down, and whenever you pick it up, it holds your call right here for you. So we're going to open this back up. But on all the other ones, it'll have 2. Like you see on this call, it has 2 holders. Well, it really has 4, but you only use 2 at once. So now the pintail whistle call holder is done, and we're gonna cut the extra string off. Just get you a pair of cutters or scissors. It's a lot easier with cutters because this paracord is tough since it's a bunch of nylon. But once you cut this, I'm gonna do all of them and then burn it last as like the finishing touches. See, on all the other ones, I wouldn't be cutting this right now. I'd be making another loop so that it has a double safety. And it holds your call level, so whenever you go to grab it when you're hunting, it's easier to find, even if you're not looking down at your lanyard. And the reason I'm doing this snake knot is because it's easier to hold a duck band with. That's also something I found. This holds a duck band. This will hold duck and goose. But yeah. So now I'm going to move on and do all the rest, and I'll see you guys. Alright, so now I have finished up all of these little doubles, and I'm going to teach you how to make these. See, earlier what I was talking about with this double holder is you would slide your call through, put one here, cinch it down, slide one on your call on the other end, and then cinch it down over here. Like this, so that it'll hold your call, like that. Now, moving on to this very bottom piece, this is how to do it. Wrap it around your thumb twice. You're going to take the end, not the tag end, the other piece of cord. Whoops. And now, don't tighten it down all the way because we haven't done the other one. So then, once you get both, stick your thumb through because that's kind of the length of the call. Tighten it just a little. Need to lose some of this slack. See, will that be too long? Yeah, this will be just a tad too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bunch of this slack out. So we really only want it right there. Alright, so now loosen the other one up. Now stick your thumb through. Pull a little bit of that slack out. Now, alright, this is good. This is good right here. But now we need to make sure it's good and tight. Know that the length is good. Just cinch it down on your thumb. Like so. Then pull your tag end. Just like that. And then I'm going to take our cutters. Just cut right here. pull. Cut, pull, cut, pull. Probably the worst part about paracord is having to cut it. But it's good for just about anything. It's good to having like a bug out bag or a hunting bag just in case you ever need to tie anything, you ever need to pull a deer up to skin it, gut it. Makes it real good knife handle. I've even made sheaths out of paracord for Swiss Army knives because, you know, a regular knife would cut the paracord, but this is just something that works really well for anything. Now, we're going to go burn all the ends on everything. So we see we have the Mojo remote holder right here, the pintail whistle holder. Then we've got our two, like, this will probably be Canada Goose, wood duck, then mallard hen right here, mallard hen right here. And then that'll be it. That'll be finished.